Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our second Downtown Area School District Reopening School Task Force. Thank you for being here. I know a crazy storm just went through and we have some people without power, so hopefully we'll have people sign on as the afternoon goes on. Many of us got power back, so I think we might be good to go. At any rate, I wanted to just talk about what we're planning today, which is going to be slightly different than what we did in our first meeting. And before I do that, I want to say thank you, because what happened last time was exactly what we wanted. We had big groups of people all giving their thoughts and concerns and issues, and I went into each of the subcommittees about 2 times and really heard some great, rich conversation. So I want to just say thank you for that first meeting. It did exactly what we wanted, and that is gave us a lot of feedback. So here we go with today's agenda. It will be just a little bit different. I want to give a brief overview, and then of course we'll have you hop off this meeting and get onto your Zooms at about 1:15 in your subgroups. But the purpose of the remaining meetings, and I think there'll be this one and one more. I think we can probably accomplish what we want to in one more meeting. You'll have your same 9 subcommittees, but this time in most of the committees, the ones that have an awful lot of people, like 60 or 70 people, we're going to do breakout rooms so that people can have a better chance to interact. So that's our agenda. And again, I want to talk about our purpose for today. Our purpose, we have our same task force, 9 subcommittees. You'll be on your same committee. This time, what you're going to come up with the entire time will spend with you giving us potential solutions. We had given the notes from the last meeting. We put them out to everyone yesterday, and your facilitators reviewed the notes pretty carefully. But today is all about solutions. And these are really your recommendations for us going forward. Some people have said, well, are you going to do all the solutions? Probably not. There'll probably be too many, or maybe they'll be too expensive. But certainly we want to have your best thoughts so that we can put together a great plan. So today is all about your recommendations for what possible solutions are out there. And then once we do that, that will inform our DASD reentry in August. So I wanted to show you this DASD task force grid again, because it changed since last time. If you remember last time, I said yellow and red were schools are closed, nothing open, no fields, no buildings, nothing. This morning at 11 o'clock, just 2 hours ago, the governor changed that. And again, we take our direction from the governor. So here's where we are now. I changed this slide to show you. Green means that schools are open, but I do believe if schools are open, there'll be many parents who choose not to send their children. So we need to make sure that we are ready with an online program that is robust for all students K-12. Yellow, as of this morning, means schools can open, but there's a number of different restrictions. And we've yet to really find out what all those restrictions are, but the governor has given us some guidelines. The last one on here is red, and red means schools are closed. This is probably the one we know the most about because we've lived this for the last 12 weeks, and that means total online instruction. Your information back to us about how that went in our last meeting was invaluable, and again, I'm so appreciative of that. So here we are. We're either green, yellow, or red. When we move to our 9 subcommittees, same chairs. If you're in a subcommittee with 25 or so people around there, you'll stay in one big group and won't go into a breakout, because I think that will allow everyone to provide information and input and solutions. But if you're in a group of 60 or 70, you're going to be broken apart into a couple of breakout groups. So these are the same facilitators, and they'll make sure that that happens. Okay, so that leads us to what the day will look like. In terms of the discussion today, if you're all together, you'll have one facilitator and one note taker. If you have several people, some of our biggest groups might have to be split into 4 breakout groups just to get 20 or so in a group. Probably 3 might be the most. We might have 4. And whatever number of facilitators we have in the breakouts, we also will have that number of note takers. So no worries. We will get your notes, your solutions, your recommendations. We will get them down. Today's discussion, again, potential solutions. That is all you're talking about. You're going to look at what we've talked about last time and just say, what can we do? What are the best things that we could do when we open? The discussion will center around these same areas. We're either open, we're open with various restrictions of which we may not completely know, or completely closed. And I want to stick to these 3 because even if we are open in August, which I expect us to be, by the way, what if we all of a sudden have to close on a dime in September, October, December? I want to make sure we're ready. So I still want you to address all 3 areas if you wouldn't mind. The other thing is I kept the level on here. Now this is more important for some areas than others. In some of your subcommittees, you're just talking about all buildings or all staff or safety for all students. That's great. In some, elementary, middle, and high school makes a difference. So I still want to have that designation if you need to. The other thing, even within elementary, what we do with kindergarten kids and what we do with fifth graders might look considerably different. So again, I want you to just keep those areas top of mind, because the more particular you can be, the more it will help us. All right, so this is the slide that I revised a little from last time. This is what your task force note slide will look like. Your note takers will take notes on a slide that looks like this. It won't be on the screen, but it'll look like this. And you see there, it says guiding issues. Last time we had essential questions. In each of your subcommittees, your facilitator has either put topics or questions, about 3 to 5, based on the input you gave last time. And that'll help focus and keep our conversation, our discussion narrowed to the point. So they'll have some guiding issues for you to discuss or topics. Again, you'll still look at all elementary, middle, or high. Maybe it'll go across all of them. And then you'll look at potential solutions in the green, in the yellow, which we called hybrid last time, meeting all kinds of alternatives or restrictions, and then red, closed. Some of what you have to say might go across green, yellow, red. That's perfectly okay. But again, I want you to just have this picture etched in your mind that these are particular areas that we need to have some guidance on from you. Our communication guidelines will stay the same, and I want to just review that with you. Our primary goal is to learn from each other and support each other. Assume positive intent. Monitor your airtime. You'll be in smaller groups. You'll have plenty of time to talk. And also keep all comments respectful. I think last time in the first meeting, this happened so well, and I was so appreciative. We're still brainstorming solutions. So I don't want you to say to someone, boy, I don't like that idea. You just give your solutions. They'll give their solutions. We'll figure it out in the end, what looks best. So my thinking with this is that I want to be sure that when you break into your subcommittees, and I'll go over these logistics here, but when we break into our breakout room, our subcommittees, and then our breakout rooms, I'm going to ask you in the chat just to put the 1, 2, or 3, like we had done last time, or if you're going to talk about something that covers all of them, put the topic. But don't put a long conversation in the chat and then where other people answer and you answer, because our note takers are taking notes from what you say. So I really want the chat just to give us an order so the facilitator knows who to call on, and that keeps it much cleaner. So if you would, just a 1, 2, or 3, or you could put your topic, you want to talk about this, and then the facilitator will get to you, call on you, and then you can explain everything you want to explain, and the note taker will be able to write that down. All right, so we're on this live stream. I'll start from the beginning of these logistics. I kind of jumped ahead. We're on the live stream here for a few minutes. When we're done, you'll jump onto your Zoom subcommittee from 1:15 to 3. You'll be in a full group, and in most groups, you'll then break out, and the facilitator will do that, and then you'll come back in the full group. The breakouts should be about an hour, and then you'll come back, and your facilitator will report out for the group and see if you have some like solutions and ideas there. When you first sign on to your subcommittee, the facilitator will put the URL in the chat room. Please sign on to that and put your name and email so that we make sure we can communicate with you. And then I will say to talk, again, I'll reiterate, put number 1, 2, 3, or just your topic in the chat. That's it. And then you'll get called on to talk. If you can always be on mute when you're not talking, that's helpful because the Zoom gets a little bit wonky from time to time. So that will be helpful. Some of you may be done before 3. Once you get your solutions out and everybody has had a chance to come back together and report out, your facilitator will end the meeting. We will have a hard stop at 3. And my plan moving forward is that I had a number of meetings listed on here, but I think with the governor's information today and with what we saw last time, I think today we can use our June 3rd, our today meeting, to do a lot of solutions. And then I think we'll meet one more time. And I'd like to be with you in the beginning, give you an update on what the governor says, and then also perhaps prioritize, look a little bit at cost, just look at some final nuances. But I believe this June 11th meeting next week should be our final meeting. That should give us a lot of input from you. And then, of course, in the rest of June and all of July, we'll be together putting together the plan based on what the governor tells us. So, and then as soon as we have that, that will go out to all of our parents so that you can also plan. I'm hoping for a lot of flexibility within that plan, but time will tell as we get more information from the governor. So just update your schedules accordingly. And I think that will take us right into the beginnings of our meeting, our subgroups. So if you would, I'm going to ask you to exit this meeting, jump onto your Zoom, and thank you again so much for giving up your time this afternoon to give us feedback. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you.